I'll have a look at my review of Our Relations from 1936, directed by Lachman and of course produced by Laurel and Hale Roach. So yes, we are back once again ready to discuss Laurel and Hardy, this time around a feature film, Our Relations, that I'd never seen before. And behind me is the 5-film set on Blu-ray, of course. Picked this up very recently, and I've been watching some of these films, on this. And Our Relations is one I'd never seen, so first time watch a few days ago now. And yes, there'll be a spoiler warning for this discussion. If you haven't seen this film, I simply recommend seeing this first and then come back to this video, and we can go from there. We can discuss this film in the comments if you want, and we can talk all things Laurel and Hardy. And so yes, with that said, let's discuss my thoughts on this film. So yes, a very fascinating feature film, with Laurel and Hardy. Of course, a very unique one. The first thing I kind of, I noticed was it was very different, the plot, in the way it opened up. James Finlayson as well, as Finn, he has quite a different role to, a lot of the films that, he was in. It's really cool to see because he's kind of playing this character who is their friends at first, being Alf and Bert's friends, and then he does kind of deceive them throughout the film, as we know, and I think it is just really cool to see, kind of a different, because James Finlayson, kind of usually played very obvious villains, ones, characters who were, they were, kind of against Laurel and Hardy from the get-go, but this one is more subtle, and he is their friends at first, meant to be, and kind of goes from there, and he has quite a big involvement, in the plot and their fate throughout the film, and I really did love that. And just opening up, we have, of course, Stan and Ollie kind of learning they have these long lost brothers, twin brothers, and they're alive, and of course being Alf and Bert, Alf being played by Laurel, and Bert being played by Hardy. And starting with the film, of course, with quite an obvious distinction between Alf and Bert, and of course Stan and Ollie, and I think the final act, is when things become a bit confusing in that sense, and the way they're playing the characters. Obviously, we have these kind of motifs, the kind of music that's played, kind of sailor music when Alf and Bert, arrive, and of course the iconic kind of Laurel and Hardy music, the cues and stuff for Stan and Ollie, the main ones there, of course, but. I think towards the final act, even though this is played quite a lot, it still was a bit confusing because they have the kind of same clothing at that point. But they start off, with kind of these sailors, of course, Alf and Bert, and aboard this SS Periwinkle, and they're the sailors. And of course, we have Finn, played by James Finlayson, and he's, the main thing that starts is he's wanting to kind of hold, the money, of these two characters, and then make them millionaires, of course, in a very short, space of time, and it all unfolds from there. They kind of believe him and give him their money that they've got, and of course, there's the deceit and the treachery, and it all kind of goes from there. We've got entanglements between the two characters, obviously Stan and Ollie, and Alf and Bert. They kind of get mixed up. People mistake their identity throughout the film, and that is the main, kind of draw of this. A lot of the gags and what is happening, is kind of also linked to people thinking that they're, Alf and Bert or Stan and Ollie, and throughout the film we have a lot of times where people are just suspecting this, and then they're saying, we saw you the other day and all this, we saw you in the diner and stuff like this, you've done this, and they're of course none the wiser, the various, Alf and Bert and Stan and Ollie. And I think the film does a great job of kind of distinguishing the two and making, Alf and Bert are very individual and different to Stan and Ollie in the film, and it's nice to see Laurel and Hardy play these different kind of characters, different performances really, and in the same film playing themselves, and it's just a great kind of mix, and I loved just seeing the kind of novelty of this, as always with these with Bratz as well. It's very novel to see, of course, for example in Bratz, them playing their sons as well, and just. Very, very funny, just to see that. And of course, I think the way in which the film is quite investing as well, wanting to see them, kind of reunite in the end, and it does obviously, as we know, happen, in that final, kind of sequence. And I just love how everything comes together as well in that final act, the kind of, the ring, of course, as well, that is introduced very soon into the film, how that plays a role in the final act. Stan and Ollie are kind of pursued by this, this mafia group, and they kind of put in this cement, of course, as well there, and I just think that whole, final act with them getting, put into the water with the cement and coming out and being, kind of almost going into the docks there, into the water, and stuff, and headbutting each other, and it goes on for about 2 minutes of the film, really, this whole kind of sequence, and just them swaying and falling about and nearly falling in, and I love how in the end, Alf and Bert are reunited with Stan and Ollie as well, and it's just a great kind of moment, the two, kind of both of them are kind of one's arrested and the other, kind of captured by the the mafia, and it's just so hilarious, these mishaps they have, and that final really nice moment when they are kind of reunited finally in the flesh, and it's a great film. This, I loved the kind of how investing it was, and also how hilarious it was as well, and just a very unique set of scenarios that arise from this very unique kind of concept. And obviously it has been done with Bratz, but then playing dual roles twice too as well. But this playing the kind of long lost twins, and they're both kind of getting into these issues and stuff throughout the film alongside each other. That's very unique, and we haven't seen this in a Laurel horror film before, and it's just great stuff. I think this film, especially in the middle of it, of the film, the narrative was probably its funniest stuff, and then again, in that final 10 minutes, it comes, really strong, the slapstick there, and it's just so funny, this, and I loved, as I say, James Finlayson in this film. He was great, and as Finn starts off as it's this quite a nice the way he's playing this character, and of course then just seeing how he does deceive them, and it's just the use of dramatic irony throughout the film as well of him, and kind of how they're unaware of this at first, and then they do suspect things over the course of the film, and I just loved Finn's involvement in this, and just how they kind of get their own back as well on him. The moment when Laurel kind of blows his hat off through the thing there, that was so funny, and it's just great to see this. James Finlayson in quite a different role for him, and as well. Lauren Hardy playing these dual roles, and quite different characters, being Alf and Bert, and different scenarios and stuff, and kind of some things that you can kind of piece together that are in various different Lauren Hardy films, but the actual blend here, the mix, the combination, is very unique, and I just think I was very invested in the narrative, and it was just hilarious really from start to finish. It's another great, classic Lauren Hardy film. You just got so many classic scenes here, of comedy. It's just one of my favourite moments as well, is early on when they kind of have, Stan and Ollie kind of talking about stuff at the table, of course, and they reading the letter and seeing the photo, of course, and they try to burn this and hide it from the wives, and Betty and stuff, they come into the room, and just as, of course, Laura's kind of pouring tea, on the kind of obviously on the note and on the photo, Hardy has kind of set a light, and they're burning it. They put it into his pocket, and Laurel pours the tea, onto Hardy, and it just as that's happening, the wives come in, and Hardy there saying hello, dear, and it's so kind of tense, that moment there, and I just loved the way in which that happened there, and it was just hilarious, and just scene after scene really of this film that is just so funny, and I think the final act as well, it's great to have these kind of huge set pieces. It's quite a big scale there, and them climbing, of course, up the ropes and all this, there the diner, the kind of ship one there, I really love that, and just all these different chase sequences, and it's just classic Lauren Hardy caper really, and it's just quite a weird ending as well, but it's just so funny when, of course, once again they're plunging into the water there, and it's just that is the end of the film, and I love the wrap up, the satisfying nature for the most part of them meeting up finally as well, and just throughout this film I was so invested, so engaged by this, and it was just a really novel idea, and they ran with it, and I think for the most part they executed this so well. As I say, there's just a few things here and there when things get a bit confusing, and just some imperfections there as we go throughout the kind of final act of the film really. It's quite a little bit hard to kind of keep up in places, but for the most part, it's not really an issue, and I just think, this is a classic Lauren Hardy once again, a great film, comedy, investment in the drama, and this kind of wacky idea as well, this concept, it's just so fun to see, and wow, I just love the performances in this. James Finlayson once again is great in this, a very different role for him, as we say, and as well just the way it's directed, I think, and the kind of use of music in this film as well is very clever, kind of giving the cues to the various kind of characters here, of course, Alf and Bert and Stan and Ollie as well, to kind of separate them, and it's just really cool to see this, how they're kind of intertwining the different characters. At one point they're just walking by and kind of missing each other, it's all this great stuff, and it's kind of an idea at first. So I thought this would be really cool to see. I wonder how they'll do it, throughout the film, and it was mostly, so consistent, and I just loved this film overall. It was a really great film. It's not quite, top tier, Lauren Hardy features and stuff like this, but it is a classic comedy film once again, and for a first time watch, it was just great to see, this finally, and there's quite a few obviously Lauren Hardy films, you know, particularly features perhaps that I haven't quite got to yet, even though I've seen loads of Lauren Hardys over the years growing up. This was, you know, a first-time watch, and you know, what can I say? Really, you know, great film, and I love this. Very uplifting, you know, very warm as well. You know, seeing the kind of camaraderie between Lauren Hardy once again, and capturing, you know, the essence of this. You know, it's of course hilarious slapstick, but it is this kind of great pairing, this legendary pairing where we have this warmth, you know, this kind of friendship, and you know, kind of bickering, of course, at times, and you know, but they are, you know, kind of buddies, of course, and it's just great to see. It really sums them up in places as well. You know, some great classic sequences, and you know, a great ending as well. So overall, my rating for this film is a 96%. So yes, what can I say? Absolutely love this film. You know, it was so funny, so investing. You know, kind of wacky as well, and you know, it's just once again, you know, a classic kind of Lauren Hardy film. Not one of the, you know, kind of top tier Lauren Hardy films for me personally, but you know, regardless of that, you know, it's a classic film. Obviously, a 96%, you know, extremely high from me. I just love this film. Really, from start to finish, it was just hilarious. It was investing. As I say, it was quite wacky and unique as well. A great idea, and you know, really, you know, it was priceless at times to see this film, and you know what's going on. You know, the kind of mistaken identities and all this. It really runs with that, and just, you know, kind of the sets as well, the locations, and you know, kind of being, you know, the ships and all this, you know, and kind of around the docks. They really use this so well, and as well the characters, you know, of course the wives, you know, the women they meet as well at one point, you know, in the film, and just, you know, James Finlayson, and you know, all the different side characters. Great stuff. The captain as well, you know, of the ship. You know, he was hilarious. You know, kind of you know, what was going on there, and him kind of getting onto them. You know, the ring. That was a great little plot device. You know, that started off the film. You know, the first sort of 10 minutes or so, and you know, they really utilised that so well. All these different threads and things have happened. You know, at first, the following, you know, both sets of characters throughout, and then culminating in the end, you know, that great, you know, kind of sustained sequence, and really hilarious as well, you know, kind of ending, you know, involving the water there. So, you know, it's a great film. You know, I love this so much, and just a few things here and there that kind of took me out, you know, took me kind of away from knowing who's who, you know, a bit, and therefore slightly the investment there. But that was just a slight, you know, really mainly in the final act. Other than that, you know, I really have no issues with this film, and it's just a great comedy film, and once again, you know, another classic Lauren Hardy film. So that's my thoughts. What do you think of this film? It'd be great to hear in the comments, of course. Leave your thoughts, and we can talk all things Lauren Hardy as always. And as for the next Lauren Hardy film to discuss on the channel, we have Sons of the Desert. You know, the most perhaps loved Lauren Hardy film, along with Way Out West. So, you know, I saw this, you know, the other day again. You know, I rewatched this on my birthday. So, you know, that, wow, you know, that was a great experience, and cannot wait to discuss that film. So that'll be the next one after this. Obviously, we've had a few Lauren Hardys recently, you know, on the channel, and they'll be, you know, trying to some point rank these films. We'll be doing, you know, kind of, you know, different rankings, top 10s, and all this kind of stuff. But of course, yeah, just talking about as many, you know, Lauren Hardy films, shorts and features, of course, you know, on the channel. So yeah, Sons of the Desert will be next, so look out for that. Can't wait to discuss that film. And for now, we'll discuss our relations and all things Lauren Hardy in the comments. So yes, as always, take care, and thanks for watching.